City by the bay, how I greet you on a foggy day. Will I meet you swept up off your feet on the crook of Lombard Street, or clinging on to cable cars, gazing dreamily at stars? City by
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Harmonious World.
will be merry
My name is Hilary Seabrook.
as the
If this is your first time listening to Harmonious World, then welcome. If you're a repeat listener, then I hope you're one of the people that's left a review, because I've got some amazing reviews and there's some really kind feedback about Harmonious World. This is a completely independent podcast where I just interview musicians about what they are good at. And I'm absolutely delighted that people enjoy listening to it. All around the world, over 150 countries, which is incredible. So wherever you are in your Harmonious World journey, welcome. Thank you for joining me. For this episode, I am speaking to singer Sarah McKenzie, who I actually interviewed back in November 2020, in the first year of Harmonious World. A lot has changed for Sarah in those years, as it has for all of us, I suspect. What you're listening to now is an extract from City by the Bay, which is effectively Sarah's love letter to San Francisco. And it was written as part of a composition commission. And it's got some beautiful playing in it, and it's just lovely. So I'm looking forward to having a chat with Sarah in a moment, and I hope you enjoy listening in.
City by the bay.
Hey, I don't know if you remember, but we spoke about 5.5 years ago.
I do remember. I remember your lovely accent too.
Thank you. And you then had an amazing story. So I'm going to suggest my listeners listen to that episode, because you had an amazing story of being trapped in the UK in lockdown.
Yes, I did. I had the best time, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so creative in Sussex there, in a beautiful, little, very small, modest old schoolhouse, and then we had an old piano, and, we were lucky though, to just be able to be locked down and then just to work on music and, from home, basically, for a few months.
Yeah. And it's amazing. I think I can remember talking to you then. So that was sort of October, November time, 2020. Even then, people were starting to be able to admit that although it was an awful, awful time and there were tragic things that happened, but nevertheless, there was an immense amount of creativity where people were trapped at home.
Definitely. I think it's important to keep that in mind. We're in a pandemic.
Yeah.
But, at a time where we could do nothing, and the majority of us did feel powerless, to do nothing, it was sort of just a window, if you like, to do
Yeah.
something creative, to bounce back, to be a little bit resilient in a time which was, which was not, and to maybe, inspire. I know a lot of musicians did incredibly creative things, during the time, and I was inspired by them too. But of course, it doesn't take away that we're in a global pandemic, and we were locked down, and that was, terrible, and we hope to have it again, quite frankly.
Yeah, well, absolutely. So this is really interesting. So what we're talking about today is City by the Bay, which is your single, which was part of a commission. And it's like a love letter to San Francisco.
Yeah, I wrote this song as part of a commission from the DRAA, which is a performing arts center just out of San Francisco. And I have a wonderful relationship with those guys, and they gave me full creativity to put together a song suite. And I discovered a great story about the area back in the 1800s in the gold rush era. some brothers came out from Paris, and they made their fortune here in San Francisco by gold mining, but by setting up a store called the City of Paris. And they sold their silk and their fine wines and their French goods, and they became the great American dream, if you like. And so it was a really interesting story that happened, and I thought I'd put it to music. And I thought one of the songs on the song suite absolutely has to be a love letter to San Francisco and that time, which was incredibly romantic, you know. And if you see San Francisco and you walk around the architecture, it's absolutely beautiful, you know, very unique. The old Victorian, sort of, yeah, I mean, it's not English at all, you know, but you know, it does have beautiful, you know, very beautiful characteristics. So I wanted to write a beautiful love letter song to San Francisco, to the Bay, to the people. And yeah, that was that song. And since I've lived in San Francisco, now I really, you know, feel like I can legitimately sing it, you know, properly. Yeah.
Yeah. And so how did you decide on the orchestration for this? Because obviously, you know, you could have done it just with the piano, you could have done it with a big band. So you've got quite a sort of small ensemble. So what made you decide on that particular setup?
Yeah, three horns and a rhythm section plus vibraphone, and some incredible players there. Grammy Award-winning John Clayton, bassist, arranger, and Jeff Hilton, fantastic drummer that used to play with Ray Brown and Gene Harris, Oscar Peterson, all these great musicians. Um, I wanted to do some arranging for the whole project. So the whole project is that lineup with the three horns. It's not just particularly this song. But I didn't want to have a full big band. So I tried to get an orchestral sound into a small group, essentially. And I thought I could do that with the three horns that I had, and also with adding the vibraphone, you know, to really emphasize it, so give it some beautiful textures. And yeah, I mean, I try to make it sound as orchestral as possible, particularly if you notice the opening. It's you know,
Yeah.
it opens very orchestrally. So yeah, that was the decision. To have a small group, but to make it feel like a big band.
Yeah, and I've been listening more and more to people who use either vibes, or the other thing people add in is a harp, because that has the same thing where it has a sort of wide texture.
Yeah, definitely awesome French horns. You know, French horns will make, you know, everything sound very lush and orchestral. There's ways of getting the sound without having a full string orchestra. You know, we didn't have the budget for that. I would love to do that, you know, one day. That would be a dream. But, you know, it's so cool. And of course, with the caliber of musicians, John Clayton, Jeff Hamilton, Warren Wolf on vibraphone, you know, Ricky Woodard, who played with Aretha Franklin and Ray Charles, you know, these guys can make it sound lush. The sax solo is gorgeous as well, you know. Just
Yeah.
he's incredible. He played with Ray Charles, and yeah, he's amazing, you know. So yeah, so the players are fantastic. So they make it sound like an orchestra in a small group.
Yeah, absolutely. So so since we spoke in 2020, a lot has happened in your life. Babies and all sorts of things.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'm a mum,
Yeah.
which is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
You know, some of the best things in life I realize were the ones I didn't dream of or didn't predict, you know,
Yeah.
would happen, you know.
Yeah.
So, and definitely my two kids, that's a big one. I'm so happy to have them in my life. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So apart from that, and obviously you've released some other albums which people can check out on your website. What's coming up now? I know for a fact that you're coming to the UK in June, is that right?
Yeah, in April, I think it is.
Oh,
And
April.
yes, we're doing a run of dates in Paris, in Vienna, London, Sicily. And yeah, I'll be playing at the Pizza Express in Dean Street. And I'm very excited. I'm also touring here in Northern California and playing back at the Blue Note in Japan. So yeah, so we'll be taking baby girl to Japan. That'll be her first tour too. But I'm so looking forward to getting back on the road. Music's my passion. I love to play. I love to tour and play through a certain amount of sleep deprivation. So that's what we're going to do.
Fantastic. And what outfit are you bringing with you? What ensemble?
Going to be a quartet, which is my sort of favorite touring formation. I absolutely love Swedish guitarist Ulf Vakinius. He was the choice guitarist for Oscar Peterson. He's fantastic. Also going to be playing with Pierre Boussaguet, who worked with Michel Legrand, and Sebastian de Crump, who was also with Michel Legrand and Jamie Cullum. And yeah, the band swings. They are really first class musicians. And yeah, we've got some new material up our sleeves, which we're looking to play. It's going to be great.
Fantastic. Well, I shall be there. I'll get it in the calendar, and
Yeah,
I'm going to
fantastic. That's great.
Yeah, I love Pizza Express on Dean Street. It's one of my favourite venues, so it's perfect. I can come and hear you, say hello, and be at that venue.
We'd love that. We'd love to see you there.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Sarah. It's been a real pleasure talking to you again.
You too. See you in another 5 years, maybe.
City by the bay, how I greet you.
Thank you for joining me for the latest episode of Harmonious World, chatting with Sarah McKenzie, and I hope you enjoyed listening to that conversation. What you're listening to now is the end of City by the Bay.
On the crook of Lombard Street, all clinging on to cable cars, gazing.
And I hope that all now makes sense, having listened to my chat with Sarah. Thank you for joining me once more for Harmonious World. So please do give Harmonious World a review. It really helps people find me. And thanks for joining me once again for Harmonious World. Have a great week.
The ferry sailing on the sea. There's no place I'd rather be, except for sundown, 8:30, by a summer's golden gate. Other cities, they are few, that shine half as bright as you. All my dreams lay at the city by the bay.
Thank you for listening to the latest episode of Harmonious World. My name is Hilary Seabrook, and it's a great delight to bring this series of discussions with musicians and composers and writers and all sorts of people to you. Obviously, there's no point in having a podcast if people aren't listening, and I'm very grateful to my listeners for doing so. Thanks also to Joe English for composing and performing this new theme tune. So wherever you get your podcast, you can leave a review. You can share this with your friends and family, either as a link or on social media and that sort of thing. I'd be really grateful for that. Don't forget that you can subscribe now. There's a link wherever you get your podcasts. So have a great week, and please remember why I started this, which is just to try and make the world a little more harmonious. Thanks for listening to Harmonious World.